Hi there, it is good to see you. Please subscribe now so we can be sure and see each other again. Today I'm talking about my Louis Vuitton Speedy bag, and a lot of people have the Louis Vuitton Speedy. In fact, it is the most popular bag that Louis Vuitton has. Mine's a little different. It is the Louis Vuitton Speedy that was designed by Yayoi Kusama. And today I'm going to tell you about the bag and a little bit about Kusama herself. Yayoi Kusama was born in Japan, and she was born in Japan in the 1920s, and she did not have an idyllic childhood. In fact, her childhood was pretty bizarre. She was the daughter of an abusive mother and a philandering father, and this affected her greatly. Her mother would actually have her spy, when she was a child, have her spy on her father having sex with his mistresses. And this affected Kusama greatly. It greatly affected her to the point that even in later years there were phalluses in her art, and she said that she had this constant kind of obsession with sex, at the same time having an aversion of it. And all of this affected her being and her art greatly. This was so traumatic, in fact, that by the age of 10, she had developed hallucinations. And these hallucinations were dots that would surround her. They would engulf her. Sometimes they were flowers that would engulf her. She would even go down to this river that was near her house, and she just became obsessed with the round river rocks in the river. And she started drawing and painting at this time. And she started to develop these dot paintings that she continued to be known for throughout her whole life. Kusama became a classically trained artist in Japan, and she loved art and she developed her art. And then in the 1950s, she became obsessed with American abstract impressionism. And she actually came to the US in 1957 and lived here until 1973. And this obsession with this form of art worked really well with her obsession with circles and dots. And she was able to really express herself with color and creativity and this abstract art form that mimicked her hallucinations. In fact, she's known for her paintings, but she's really more known for her sculptures and also for her installations. And her installations involve a lot of these dots and mirrors, and the idea is to put you into one of her hallucinations. One of the reasons that I am so intrigued by Kusama is kind of a personal thing for me. So Kusama, when she was in the US, toward the end of her time in the US, she had a hallucination that was so bad that she was being engulfed in these dots, and they were on the walls and the ceiling, and they were all coming in at her, and she decided that they were real, and it terrified her, and she ran up a flight of stairs, and she ended up, the stairs collapsed, and she injured herself. She ends up going back to Japan, and she actually checked herself into a mental institution in the 1970s, and she continues to live there today. Her whole life, she's lived in this mental institution voluntarily. And she's set up her life so that her studio is nearby where she lives, and she's been able to continue her work and really contribute to the world, even though she has this debilitating thing that affects her profoundly. And as some of you may know, I'm the mother of a special needs child who is now a young man. And for me, it really drives home that we do all have, no matter what obstacles we have before us, we all really have a reason for being here and a way to contribute. And I think Kusama has contributed in a profound way around the world. All over the world, her art is shown, even though she has this debilitating, I don't want to call it an illness. I don't know what it's diagnosed as, but this debilitating thing that she has to contend with and deal with. For Louis Vuitton lovers, fortunately for us, or at least for me, Marc Jacobs visited Kusama in 2006. He visited her studio, and he invited her to collaborate with him on a line of bags for Louis Vuitton. And this is the bag that I have, is the Kusama Speedy bag. Now, she did a series of these dots that are painted on the canvas. This is on the regular monogram canvas. She did it also, though, in leathers and different things. Her most common bags, or the ones that you see the most often now, are the Speedy, and then some of the SLGs you'll see too in the dots. And she did the dots in yellow, green, blue, and also red. But you can find all kinds of different Kusama items. Those are just the ones that are most commonly available. The Speedy itself, mine is a Speedy 30, and it is it's a normal Speedy other than the painting, the dots on the outside. It is not a bandolier, and I don't think she did one. And it zips like normal. I won't go through all of the details of the Speedy because I'm sure you've seen lots and lots of Speedy bags. It does have this flat pocket here, and it's brown on the inside. It does have a thing to hang keys. I don't know if you can see that little thing to hang keys, but there's no zipper compartment or anything in the inside. It's a dark brown. And I have to confess that I haven't carried this Speedy a lot, and I think that I'm treating it as being a little too precious. I do become somewhat intimidated by this bag, not because it's a Speedy and not because it's a canvas Speedy, but because of Kusama. And I don't want anything to happen to it. And I also normally don't carry canvas bags, and I'm not used to the vachetta leather, but it's really done just fine. It's the only bag that I keep covered in its dust cover in my closet, and it's because of the vachetta leather. I do use a Samorga with this bag. I'll show that to you. This is the Samorga that I use in this bag, and because for me, the Speedy 30 is a pretty big bag, and things just kind of get all lost in there, and with the dark brown interior, I really have trouble finding things sometimes because my SLGs tend to be dark as well. So I opted for a very light Samorga so that I can see everything when I put it in there. And then, I just like everything to be all lined up and organized. That's just part of who I am. There have been a lot of collaborations over the years with different people and Louis Vuitton, and Marc Jacobs was actually one of my favorite people to be running Louis Vuitton. I think he created a lot of great bags, and then Kusama is an artist that I admire. So it was really amazing for me when they came together and developed this bag. Now I do understand that people have a love-hate relationship with this bag. It seems like people either love it or they hate it, and the whole dots and the whole thing. So I would love to hear what you think about this bag. Was the Kusama collaboration something that you loved or something that you hated? And has your opinion changed over time? What I have found is when I first saw this bag, I thought, okay, that's different, I like it, but I have grown to where I truly love it. I mean, it just seems to me over time, I'm liking it more and more. I'd be interested to hear what you think. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you again. Bye for now.